you and I used to, and I've leaned on guys like you and Nomar who know a lot more baseball than me, but I could make an argument that in the history of baseball, well, let's go modern history, last 15, 20 years, it's virtually impossible to win a World Series with a shaky bullpen because now runs are coming at a premium. That's why Kansas City's so darn tough. Is the Dodgers bullpen good enough to win a World Series?
It is if Greinke and Kershaw go 7 and 8, and hopefully Kershaw goes 9. I think it's an outstanding pitching staff.
Yes,
Talking about the top 5 or 6 guys, but once you get past that, but if you have to get past that in the playoffs, you're going to be in trouble. And I think the difference in the generations that you're talking about is that because of the pitch count and because we're protecting these assets that are great arms, they're not, required to go 8 and 9 innings on their outings. Complete game, somebody who has 3 or 4 is a lot nowadays.
One of the things baseball does, and I'm not sure any other sport does this, they have September call-ups. And the Dodgers call up this shortstop, Corey Seager, and he's thrived. And then you think to yourself, he's a kid. He's like 21 years old. So if I'm a manager and I call a kid up in September and he's on fire, can I play him in the playoffs now with the brighter lights?
I think he is going to play. I mean, and there's been nothing in the big leagues that has really sped up his brain. He looks like, the world is moving slow. It's moving at the same speed as if he was playing an A-ball, AA, or AAA. He's playing with a lot of poise. In today's world, you'd say he's precocious because he is, doing this at a veteran status and level, even though he's a young man. And there are some guys that can do this. There's some guys that the game comes naturally. They have a great baseball clock. They put the work in, and they can do it. And I think he's one of them.
Yasiel Puig's had a tough season, hamstring injury. Doesn't look like he'll play against the Mets. So, okay, we talked about Seager's youth. Can you take Puig, who's been in and out of the lineup, and would you trust him in the National League Championship Series? Does Don Mattingly think, he didn't play in the NLDS. He's been hot and cold. How much can you rely on him now?
I think Yasiel Puig, his whole career has kind of been hot and cold. And right now, he doesn't look like he's ready, but I think the Dodgers will look at him as what tools might be effective for the roster. So he might be looked at as a defensive replacement. He might be looked at as, I don't think as a pinch runner the way we saw him run the last few days when he was in there. So I think he'll be looked at as somebody, he got a taste. Maybe they'll keep to rehab him. They haven't announced their roster yet, whether he's on or off. But I would think he'd be looked at more as a utility guy, as a chance to make the roster, not as a starter.